Okay guys, welcome back. Today we continue our series on elbow airflare, and today is elbow airflare to handstand. This is very handy to have, obviously. Elbow airflare to airflare, elbow airflare to 90, to 2000, to invert 90, to handle, to yada yada. Obviously for every technique there's multiple ways to do it, but I'll just explain the main basic way sort of, right? So for this one you need one elbow airflare under control. But obviously, just like always, it's better if you can do like 10 in a row, but the better they are, the better. But if you have one down, it's good. But maybe you can do 2, 3, and also do elbow windmill, but you cannot do this, or you try to do this and this fails. That's because if you do multiples, you don't need to place this hand and block. You can just place the elbow and keep the swing going, right? Which works fine, or if you go to windmill, you don't need this hand at all. You can just pop into your back, basically. But in this case, we want to first learn to catch. So to do that, well, you figured this out already, obviously. But when you land, you don't want to place your hand here, because if you do, yes, you will be able to pop into the handstand and stuff, but you will lose total control because you're not catching circular. You want to place this hand sort of here, not under your body, but a little bit outside, and the fingers pointing to the side. It's actually where it freezes, but a little bit more out. So you land and you catch. Now, you might have trouble with this, but then there's also a trick that, you know, when you do when I do elbow airflares, I can actually land here with my hands, or land with the other hand like a one-hander. You know, I just have this move in a certain way that I don't need either hand in a way, right? So then you sort of have the issue that you might fly very fast and have some trouble with doing multiples and yada yada, but you can actually catch behind you. You feel like I don't need to do that, but you still do it. So you throw and you sort of swing it to that pike position from where you either swing up or pump, and then you try to land also in the same position behind you, and then when you move back forward, try to move a little bit slower. Well, simply it gives you more room, and that will help you out, because if you're so fast that you hardly have the room to catch anything, it becomes obviously hard. But take a look. I'll just try to catch it, and this hand goes circular. It's not going here. It's sort of where your hip is. So everything goes where your hip is. You can throw, like if you throw very small, try to throw a little bit bigger if you can. You know, this last hand, if you land it, try to move it over your body. So you have just simply more room. This makes it easier. But take a look, elbow airflare, and then sort of try to catch it. Try to catch it, this hand here, not here. Then you will, yeah, you can go to handstand, but you have trouble doing anything of it. So you sort of need to practice that. Like I said, there are a couple of tricks that can help you out. Basically, you can swing longer or throw further away, or you can throw more behind you, and this hand gives you more room if you can't. Like if I do nothing and just swing in, I will sort of do a one-hand elbow, and then this hand sort of can touch or not touch, right? So obviously in this case that's very hard to control, so we don't do that. So yeah, you can catch it like this and you think, okay, so all I now have to do is push out like that and do the next move. No, not really, and the reason why is because you keep swinging the move, like power move, so you will fly into the next move and you have zero controls. So there's a trick that you have to learn, and that is snapping your movement. So when you're on your elbow, you can try it right now. Try to slowly push up towards the handstand, slow. So you go here and try to push up. And you notice it's very, very heavy, and you just don't have that space either, but it's also way more heavy. In b-boying in general, you need to learn how to snap your moves. Everything becomes more easier. The movement is fast, and if you're like someone who likes to use power, you can train this often. It's not really hard. Well, it's hard, but it's not really hard to get the concept down, right? You just do everything slower and pure power. But yeah, that's it actually, guys. Once you land here, you make a little bit more room. Right before this hand touch, you snap. You can actually practice elbow to handstand and crap like that, right? So just try it on one elbow or multiples. You can do the whole process on one hand. But basically, elbow to handstand is sort of the key. So I'm right here, bam, handstand. See how I sort of pop into that handstand and not push out, and maybe you do it on one hand, trying, this is not never wrong to work with, right? So then you sort of get it, but first try to go to planche and not a handstand. I will explain in a second why. So once you land here and you get here, pop out and push your head a little bit forward, right? So that's then you sort of get in the planche and you can pump your legs how you want, but preferably wide because, you know, power move. So take a look, guys. Right, so I don't go really to the handstand, more to a planche. Now, why is that? Well, mostly planche is a great middle move, but it's also not that hard to hold for 0 seconds. The only, like, planche is very hard to hold, but not if you don't have to hold it. Now, from the planche, you can also easily go to the handstand, so it's exactly the same. If your hip is already above you, which I don't suggest, because, you know, airflare is angled, but you can basically pop to the handstand if you like. But from a planche to up or higher moves is not hard at all, because it's a planche because your hands are under you. So you simply move your hands above you, and yeah, that all sounds very, very insanely hard. It really isn't, because only when you hold the planche it becomes hard. Watch this, my hands are under me, move them above me. See, it was no issue at all, because I didn't hold the planche. If I try to hold this, obviously it's very, very hard. But that's not really how the power move works in this case, right? So yeah, and I suggest going to the planche, doing moves like 90 and crabs. Actually, in my opinion, a little bit easier if you angle out first, because you can push the move in. If you're in the handstand but get stuck there, it's hard to do other movements, in my opinion at least, because you can't really swing in, or you have to do an extra swing or an extra move, which I don't like. So that's my suggestion, but it's really it's the same thing. You're here and you push, right? You can land more up. Yeah, that's actually it, guys. It's not hard at all. Try to learn that snapping motion. Try to practice many times elbow to up, but fast. You know, elbow up, and in this case it's handy if you, like, I'm right-handed, so I land on the left, and then yeah, I can practice this move. It's really good if I can do it, obviously. In this case, it's handy if I can do it on the left side. You know, practice this many times on 2 hands and yada yada. That's just the prerequisites in general. Get a good handstand, get a good swoop. Yeah, and then the final thing is, yeah, you got it. I can do the elbow airflare to the handstand and elbow airflare to the planche, and I can do it. But for some reason, when I try to do move after, except maybe swipe, I fall, or I can't, right? Well, it's very simple, guys. Once you're here and you land and you push out, you are stuck. But if you want to do, for instance, a 90, you need to move on top of the arm. So the push is actually like this. You push on the right arm in this case. Obviously, if you want to do invert 90, hand up or whatever on this arm, you stay on that arm, you don't push this way. So always transfer the weight, sort of, right? It's like, that's the key. But in a sense, it's actually a very simple combo. You just need to learn to catch this one circular and snap up fast, and you're in a planche or a handstand, same thing. And that's it, guys. Take another look. Handstand right. Obviously, you can, from the handstand to another elbow airflare, or, you know, pump into other moves. Obviously, when you can go to the handstand, you can also do the other moves, and in the beginning practice it slow. But what I noticed a lot of times with these moves, also with the back in the day windmill 90, which I had on lock, windmill handstand for me was harder than windmill 90, because you can basically from a lower move push up. That's the reason I suggest practicing on that angled handstand and not really the full handstand, simply because other power moves. But, you know, never wrong to have full control. Practice it, guys, and I'll see you next time.